Yes, very good evening to all. Check your audio and video settings. Now I start the session. Okay. Am I audible? Anyone please confirm? Am I audible? Are you getting my voice and screen? Okay. Yes. Now I'm starting the session. Okay. Welcome to Durga Soft. I am Shiva Chaitanya. I have 16 years experience in teaching field. So our course title is Core Java. Our course title is Core Java. See here. So in today's session, I will explain about what is the purpose of what is Java, what is the purpose of Java. Okay, these things I talk in today's session. Okay, so what is Java? What is the purpose of Java? Which kind of applications we can develop by using this Java? And what are the parts of Java? Okay, see here. So what is Java? You already know it. Very simple. Java is a language. So what is Java? Java is a language. To say more clearly, this Java is a programming language. What is Java? Java is a programming language. Okay. So when this language was introduced, this language was officially announced in 1995, but first version of Java, first version of Java released in first version of Java released in 1996. Officially announced in 1995, but first version released in the 1996. Okay, and who is the father of Java? Who is the father of Java? James Gosling. James Gosling is the father of Java. So James Gosling and his team developed this Java, and this James Gosling played major role, lead role in the development of Java language. So that's why we are calling this James Gosling is the father of Java. Father of Java. Okay. So James Gosling and his team developed this Java language, and James Gosling played major role, lead role in the development of Java. So we are calling James Gosling is the father of Java. Okay. So which company developed this Java language? Java language. This Java is a product of Sun Microsystems. Initially, this Java is initially initially it was product of Sun Microsystems. It was product of Sun Microsystems. So Sun Microsystems company developed this Java language. James Gosling and his team, those are the employees in the Sun Microsystems. So initially it was the product of Sun Microsystems. Later, this Sun Microsystems undertaken by Oracle company. So this Sun Microsystems is undertaken by Oracle company in the 2010. So later, Sun Microsystems was undertaken by Oracle company, in which year? In 2010. Now Java is product of Oracle company. Now Java is product of Oracle company. Okay. So listen, what is Java? This Java is a language. It is a programming language. When this language was announced in the 1995, officially this Java language was announced. In one particular seminar hall, they announced this Java language. And later, this first version of Java released in 1996. So James Gosling and his team developed this Java language, and James Gosling played major role, lead role in the development of Java. So that's why we are calling James Gosling is the father of Java. So James Gosling and his team, they were working in which company? Sun Microsystems. So initially this Java was the product of Sun Microsystems. Later this Sun Microsystems company purchased by the Oracle company in the 2010. Oracle company purchased Sun Microsystems company. So from 2010 onwards, this Java became product of Oracle company. Now Java is the product of Oracle company. Okay. So very basic things you already know. Okay. So to say more about Java, this Java is the programming language. Okay. This Java is the general purpose programming language. This Java is the general purpose programming language. To say more clearly, this Java is the general purpose high level programming language. And this Java is the general purpose high level object oriented programming language. Object oriented programming language. You may get some doubts. What is this general purpose? What is this high level? What is this object oriented? So every point I will explain clearly now. Listen. So I'm calling this Java is the general purpose programming language. So according to the number of kinds of applications, programming languages can be divided into two types. According to the number of kinds of applications, programming languages can be divided into two types. What are those? First one is general purpose programming languages. General purpose programming languages. And second one is specific purpose programming languages. General purpose programming languages and specific purpose programming languages. So according to the number of kinds of applications, these programming languages can be divided into two types: specific purpose programming languages and general purpose programming languages. So once upon a time, only specific purpose programming languages were there. Before C language, when C language was introduced, C language, when C language was introduced, the C language was introduced in the 1972. So before 1972, okay, was there any programming languages before 1972? Yes. Before 1972 also some programming languages were there. Before C language also some programming languages were there. What are those languages? Like the first high level language is Fortran language. Fortran. Fortran language. So like this COBOL language was there. Okay. And uh, later MATLAB language was there. MATLAB graphic language was there. Okay. Pascal language, basic language, Algol language. So like the several programming languages were there. Okay. So all these are examples for specific purpose programming languages. Okay, why we are calling them as specific purpose programming languages? Because using one language we can develop one kind of application only. Using one language we can develop one kind of application only. So that's why we are calling them as specific purpose. Specific purpose, only one purpose is there. What is the purpose of this Fortran? Fortran stands for formula translator. Fortran stands for formula translator. This language was used to develop the scientific applications only. To develop the scientific applications we were using COBOL, Fortran. And next one is what? COBOL. COBOL stands for common business oriented language. COBOL stands for common business oriented language. This language was used to develop the business applications. To develop the business applications, we were using COBOL. Okay. And next, MATLAB language was there. MATLAB stands for Matrix Laboratory. MATLAB stands for Matrix Laboratory. This language was used to develop the mathematical applications. So matrix related calculations, any dimensional calculations. Okay, for that we use this MATLAB. This graphic language was used to develop the graphical applications like games, animations. For graphical applications, we were using this graphic language. So using one language, we can develop one kind of application only. These languages are called specific purpose programming languages. What are the examples? Fortran, COBOL, MATLAB, Graphic. These languages are called specific purpose programming languages. Means using one language, we can develop one kind of application only. Using Fortran, we can develop scientific applications only. We cannot develop other kinds of applications. Using COBOL, COBOL is suitable to develop the business applications. We cannot develop other kinds of applications. MATLAB is suitable to develop the mathematical applications. We cannot develop other kinds of applications. Graphic is suitable to develop the graphical applications. We cannot develop other kinds of applications. Means using one language, we can develop one kind of application only. So this was the scenario before 1972. So when C language introduced, a new feature came. That is what? General purpose. So C language is the general purpose programming language. C language is the general purpose programming language. Means what? General purpose programming language means using one language, we can develop many kinds of applications. Using one language, we can develop many kinds of applications. So before this C language, before 1972, what was the scenario? Using one language, we can develop one kind of application only. Okay. So if only specific purpose programming languages were there, what happens is, for example, we are the programmers. We are the programmers. As a programmer, we will get projects related to the scientific field or business or mathematical or graphical. Okay, so we may get projects from all these categories. Okay, as a programmer, we have to develop scientific applications, business applications, mathematical applications, and graphical applications. If only specific purpose programming languages were there, then we have to learn how many languages? 4 languages perfectly. We have to learn COBOL, we have to learn Fortran, MATLAB, and Graphic. So like that, we have to learn 4 languages perfectly. Learning one language perfectly is difficult to us. Learning one language perfectly is difficult to us. Like that, we have to learn how many languages? 4 languages perfectly. It becomes more difficult to us. If only specific purpose programming languages are there, we have to learn each and every language. It becomes more difficult to a programmer. So from this thought, Dennis Ritchie introduced a language, C language. In the 1972, he introduced this is general purpose programming language. So general purpose programming language means using one language, we can develop many kinds of applications. Okay, now you know that C is the general purpose programming language. C++ is a general purpose programming language, and Java is the general purpose programming language. Listen carefully here. Using C, C++, we can develop business applications, scientific applications, mathematical applications, graphical applications. Okay, but those all applications are called standalone applications. Those all applications are called standalone applications. So using C, C++, we can develop standalone applications only. Whereas using this Java, we can develop standalone applications, we can develop web applications, we can develop mobile applications, enterprise applications, distributed applications, etc. So what is the purpose of Java? So this Java is the general purpose. Why we are calling this as a general purpose? Because using this Java one language, we can develop many kinds of applications. What are those many kinds? I'm writing the list here. We can develop using Java. I'm writing the purpose of Java here. Using Java, we can develop many kinds of applications. We can develop many kinds of applications. That's why we are calling Java as the general purpose programming language. What are those many kinds of applications? Like we can develop standalone applications, or you can say them as the desktop applications. Standalone applications, or you can say them as desktop applications. You can develop web applications, and you can develop mobile applications. So this is the purpose of Java. Using Java, we can develop many kinds of applications like standalone applications, web applications, and mobile applications. So using one language, using one Java language, we can develop many kinds of applications. So that's why it is called general purpose. Java is the general purpose programming language. Okay, I hope you understood. Very clearly I explained. Now you may get a doubt. What are standalone applications? What are web applications? What are mobile applications? Now let me explain them clearly. Listen. So using Java, we can develop standalone applications, web applications, and mobile applications. So what is standalone application? What is standalone application? So standalone applications means they can be also called as desktop applications. Okay, so standalone applications means the application that is developed to run in one system. The application which is developed to run in one system. The application which is developed to run in one system is called standalone application. So regularly we are using so many standalone applications. Like you are using Notepad. Notepad is what? Standalone application only. You are using MS Office, MS Word, MS PowerPoint. Okay, what are these? These are the standalone applications only. Okay, we are using calculator. Calculator is what? Standalone application only. Okay, to watch the movies, we are using media players. Okay, what are these media players? These media players are standalone applications only. To edit the photos, we are using Photoshop. This Photoshop is what? Standalone application. To read the PDF files, we are using Acrobat Reader. What is this Acrobat Reader? This is a standalone application. So like this, several standalone applications we are using regularly. So standalone application means the application developed to run in one system. Okay. For example, I want to watch the movies. This is my system. I want to watch the movies. So to watch the movies, I am installing media player in my computer, and with the help of this media player software, I can watch the movies. If you want to watch the movies in your system, you install media player and you watch the movies. So if you want to watch the movies, you are installing. If I want to watch the movies, I am installing. Okay. So this media player software developed to run in one computer. This media player software developed to run in one computer. If anyone wants to use it, that user must install that software. Then only he can use. Such type of softwares are called standalone applications. For example, assume that I want to watch the movies in my system. This is my system. I want to watch the movies. This is your system. This is your system. And in your system, we are installing media player software. And I want to watch the movies now. Is it possible? No. So no network is there. Nothing is there. Okay. I want to watch the movies now. I install media player software in your computer, but I want to watch the movies now. Is it possible? No, not possible. Because this media player is a standalone application. If I want to watch the movies, I must install media player software in my system, then only I can watch. Okay, such type of applications are called standalone applications. Standalone applications. Okay, so regularly we are using so many standalone applications like MS Office, Notepad, Calculator, all the media players, Photoshop, Acrobat Reader. All these are what? Standalone applications only. So the application developed to run in one computer is called a standalone application. So we can develop such type of standalone applications using Java. And the second type is web applications. Very simple. Regularly we are using so many web applications. Web applications means very simple. The single word is website. Web application means website, developing websites. So we can develop the websites by using Java. So using Java, we can develop websites. Then what is web application? Web application means the application installed in remote system, the application published in remote system, the application published in remote system, we are calling that as the server. In the remote system, software is installed. So the application installed in remote system, and that can be accessed by many clients with the help of network and browser. With the help of network and browser. With the help of network and browser. So the application published in remote system, we are calling that as the server. The application published somewhere. but we are accessing. Okay, say like that many clients are accessing with the help of network and the browser. With the help of network and the browser, we are accessing them. Okay, for example, okay, Oracle company is there. Oracle.com is a website. Okay, you already know social media websites like Facebook.com. Okay, for checking, we are using Gmail.com. So all these are what? These are the web applications only. So Gmail.com, Facebook.com, Oracle.com, Durgasoft.com. Okay, so we can develop such type of web applications. So this application installed in remote system, but many clients can access them. So in the website, web pages are there. We are visiting those web pages with the help of one software that is called browser, like Google Chrome, okay, or Microsoft Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Opera, Netscape Navigator. By using such type of browsers, we are accessing the web pages with the help of network. So with the help of network, with the help of browser, we are accessing some web pages. That website published in remote system. Web pages are installed in remote system, but we are accessing from our system. Such type of applications are called web applications. We can develop such type of web applications by using the Java. Okay, so now this is my system. This is my system. In my system, I am typing the URL. I am typing the URL oracle.com. Oracle.com. Now it is displaying Oracle's homepage. So this oracle.com website published in remote system in the server, but I am accessing with the help of this Google Chrome and internet connection. Okay, I want to download the Java software. So I want to see the products of Oracle. So I'm clicking on products. That is giving list of products. Java is the product of Oracle company. MySQL is the product of Oracle company. Oracle database is the product of Oracle company. Like this. These are the products. Okay. So whenever I'm clicking on this hyperlink, that is displaying another web page. So server is transferring that page to us. So such type of applications are called. Such type of applications are called web applications. Okay. So web application means that it's published in remote system, but that can be accessed by many clients with the help of network and browser. Such type of applications are called web applications. Okay, so we are using several websites like oracle.com, facebook.com, gmail.com, durgasoft.com, twitter.com, okay, etc. All these are what? Web applications only. Next next one, next type of applications are mobile applications. So can we develop mobile applications? Yes, we can develop mobile applications also. So the application mobile application means the application developed to run in small devices. The application developed to run in small devices. What are those small devices? Like smartphones, okay, tabs, okay, routers, set up boxes. So like this on many devices, like remote controls. Okay, so to run on small devices, we are developing the applications. Those applications are called mobile applications. So we can develop mobile applications also. So the application developed to run in small devices like smartphones, tabs, routers, set-top boxes, remote controls. Such type of application is called mobile application. Okay. So regularly we are using several apps in our mobile. Okay. Like for online payments, we are using GPay, PhonePay. These are what? Mobile applications. Okay. Or we are using WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. These are what? Mobile applications. Okay. So if you want to take the services of Geo, you are using Geo app. If you want to take the services of Airtel, you are using Airtel Thanks app. What are these? These are the mobile applications which are developed to run in small devices like smartphones, tabs. Such type of applications are called mobile applications. So using Java, we can develop web applications, we can develop mobile applications, we can develop standalone applications. So that is the purpose of Java. Okay, so what is Java? This Java is the general purpose, high level object oriented programming language. So in this, till now, just we discussed about first term, general purpose. So how many types of programming languages are there according to the number of kinds of applications? Two types are there: specific purpose programming languages and general purpose programming languages. Specific purpose programming languages means using one language we can develop one kind of application only. Once upon a time, only specific purpose programming languages were there, but nowadays almost all the programming languages are general purpose programming languages only. So using one language we can develop many kinds of applications. So using C, C++, we can develop business, scientific, mathematical, and graphical applications. But those applications comes under particular category. Those are called standalone applications. So using C, C++, we can develop standalone applications only. We cannot develop web applications. Okay, we cannot develop the websites by using C, C++ like that. So using Java, we can develop standalone applications, we can develop web applications, we can develop mobile applications. So using one Java language we can develop many kinds of applications. So we are calling this as the general purpose. So standalone application means the application developed to run in one computer. Okay, for example, calculator. This calculator is example for standalone application. In every system we have to install to use this calculator. Okay, notepad. This notepad is example for standalone application. In every system we have to install. So the application developed to run in one computer is called standalone application, like that media players, okay, Photoshop, okay, Acrobat Reader, okay, all these are what? These are the standalone applications. Web applications means websites. So this application will be published in remote system, but that can be accessed by many clients with the help of networks and browser. The help of network and browser. So example, Oracle.com, Facebook.com, Durgasoft.com, Gmail.com. All these are what? Web applications. So mobile applications means these applications are developed to run in small devices like routers, set-top boxes, tabs, smartphones, PDS, remote controls. Okay, so those applications are called mobile applications. Okay, so this is about general purpose. Next, I'm calling this Java as the high level. You already know there are two types of programming languages. Okay, high level programming languages, high level programming languages, and low level programming languages. High level programming languages and low level programming languages. High level programming languages means user understandable languages. So we are the users, we can understand that easily. So user understandable languages are called high level. User understandable languages are called high level languages. So user friendly languages, those are. Low level languages means these are system friendly languages, system understandable languages. System understandable languages are called low level. So it is system friendly, it is user friendly. So high level means that is user friendly, we can understand easily. Low level means okay, computer devices can understand easily, system understandable language. So examples are, what are the examples for high level languages? Like Java is the high level language, you already know it. Okay, like that C sharp language is the high level language. Python language, this is a high level language. Okay, VB language, there is a high level language. So all these are examples for high level languages. User friendly languages, we can understand easily, we develop the programs. Okay, see, lower level languages examples are machine language. This is computer understandable language. Machine language means the code will be in the form of zeros and ones. Binary language, computer's language. And another example is assembly language. Assembly language. Assembly language means, in this, we write the code in the form of mnemonics. We write the code, we use some English words. Those English words, I'm calling them as mnemonics. So we use some mnemonics. Like, for example, for addition, we use the mnemonic ADD. To move the cursor, we use the mnemonic MOV. For subtraction, SUB. For division, DIV. These are called mnemonics. Some English words we use. Okay. So assembly language, machine language, these are comes under low level programming languages. Java, C Sharp, Python, VB, these are comes under high level programming language. So these are user friendly languages, these are system friendly languages. Then what is the purpose of high level programming language and what is the purpose of low level programming language? Listen carefully here. So this high level programming language is suitable, it is suitable to develop the application software. High level programming language is suitable to develop the application software, whereas this low level language is suitable to develop the system software. Okay. So high level languages are suitable to develop the application softwares, whereas low level languages are suitable to develop the system softwares. System software means examples are like operating systems like Unix, Linux, Windows. These are the operating systems, like compilers. So after writing C program, you are using compiler. Okay, after writing Python program, you are using interpreter. So operating system, compiler, interpreter, device driver. To work with any device, you are using this device driver software, like printer drivers, scanner drivers, okay, web camera drivers. Those are, so to develop such type of system softwares, these languages are suitable. Okay. So to develop the application softwares, what are the examples for application softwares? Like, so regularly we are using several application softwares like media players, Photoshop, Acrobat Reader. Okay, all the database management softwares like Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server. All those are what application softwares only. Shopping mall management software, shopping mall management software, hospital management software, college management software. Okay, all these are what application softwares. Okay. So to develop the application softwares, we use high level programming languages. To develop the system software, these low level programming languages are suitable. So these low level programming languages can directly communicate with the hardware, whereas these high level programming languages cannot directly communicate with the hardware. Okay. So that's why high level programming languages are suitable to develop the application software only, but low level programming languages are suitable to develop the system software. And you already learned that in the C language, you learned that C language is a middle level programming language. We are calling C language, C++ as the middle level programming languages. C++ are the middle level programming language. Why? Because C language has high level language features plus low level language features. C language is suitable to develop the system software as well as application software. So high level language features are there, low level language features are there. So that's why we are calling C, C++ as the middle level programming languages. Okay. So what is this Java? This Java is the high level programming language only. It is suitable to develop the application software. It is not suitable to develop the system software. So nowadays, to develop the system software, we are using C, C++ only. To develop the system software, we are using C, C++ only. So when C, C++ introduced, this assembly language became outdated. Nowadays, we are not using this assembly language to develop system software. So to develop the compilers, language compilers, interpreters, operating systems, device drivers, we are using C, C++ only. Okay. So to develop the application softwares, we are using the languages like Python language, Java language, okay, C Sharp language. So such type of languages we are using to develop the application softwares. So this Java is the high level programming language because it is suitable to develop the application software. It is not suitable to develop the system software. And the next point is it is object oriented. This Java is the object oriented. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, now I don't want to talk anything about object oriented. So later in the object oriented programming, in the OOPS concept, in the objects and classes chapter, I clearly discuss what are the OOPS concepts, everything I discuss. So this Java is the object oriented programming language. Just remember that if any language that supports to four concepts like encapsulation, abstraction, just listen the terms. I will explain what are these, everything I will discuss. I cover every topic in our course. Just listen the terms: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. No problem. Even if you are new, no problem. Okay, just listen the terms. That's it. The very basic things we are discussing. Okay, even if you are new, no problem at all. Okay, so object oriented programming language. This Java is the object oriented programming language. See, object oriented programming language means if any language that supports to these four concepts. What are those four concepts? Encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. If any language that supports to the four concepts, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism, that language is called object oriented programming language. Okay, for all these four concepts, two common concepts are there. Those are class and object. So if any language that supports to these four concepts, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism, that language is called object oriented programming language. So C++ language is there that supports to these four concepts: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. So you can say C++ is the object oriented programming language. Okay, we are calling Java is the object oriented programming language because Java supports to these four concepts: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. And we are calling Python is the object oriented programming language because Python supports to encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. And C sharp is the object oriented programming language because C sharp supports to all these four concepts: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. So if any language that supports to these four concepts, we call that as the object oriented programming language. For example, I'm taking C language. C language supports to encapsulation because structures concept is there. Structure, you're defining structure means encapsulation. Abstraction, you're defining function means that is abstraction. Okay, so encapsulation, abstraction is available in the C. So C supports to encapsulation and abstraction, but C does not support to the inheritance and polymorphism. So that's why C is not object oriented programming language. So C++, Java, Python, C sharp, these are the object oriented programming languages because they support these four concepts. For all these four concepts, two common concepts are there. Those are class and object. Okay, so this is very important topic. Later I will discuss everything: what is class, what is object, what is encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism. So after completion of language fundamentals, I start objects and classes chapter only. There I clearly explain what are the OOPS concepts. Okay, all these concepts I will explain, and practically I show everything. Okay, just in the beginning classes, in the introduction classes, just remember that if any language supports to encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism, that language is called object oriented programming language. That's it. So Java is the object oriented programming language. So very clearly we discussed that Java means Java is a programming language. It is the general purpose, high level, object oriented programming language. General purpose means we can develop many kinds of applications. High level means it is suitable to develop the application software. Object oriented means Java supports to encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. So when Java was introduced, it is officially announced in 1995, but first version released in 1996. So this Java Released by which company? Sun Microsystems company. Okay, so who is the father of Java? James Gosling. James Gosling and his team developed this language. James Gosling played major role in the development of Java. So later, this Sun Microsystems company purchased by Oracle company in the 2010. So now Java is the product of Oracle company, not Sun Microsystems company. So using this Java, we can develop standalone applications, web applications, and mobile applications. Standalone application means that is developed to run in one computer, like Notepad, calculator. Web application means websites. Mobile applications means mobile apps. So we can develop such type of applications by using Java. That is the purpose of Java. Okay, and this Java, that's it. Okay, so now I want to talk about parts of Java. So after this, I stop the session. Listen. So what are the parts of Java? What are the parts of Java? Listen carefully here. Now, so regularly we are hearing the terminology. The terminology is core Java, advanced Java. So Java means Java, that is one language only. Java means Java, that is one language only. Okay, but some universities and some computer institutes divided this Java as core Java, advanced Java. Core Java and advanced Java. So core means important. Core Java, advanced Java. So Java means Java language only, but regularly we hear the terms core Java and advanced Java. Okay, and institutes also announces that core Java batch will be started on so and so date. Advanced Java batch starts on so and so date. So regularly we use these terms only. Core Java, advanced Java only. Okay, but it is not official terminology. Sun Microsystems didn't define such type of terminology. They didn't define core Java, advanced Java. Okay, so this terminology introduced by some private universities and some computer institutes. They divided like this, but they became fame. Regularly we are using those terms. Okay, but Sun Microsystem divided this Java into three parts. So Sun Microsystems officially Sun Microsystems divided Java into three parts. Divided Java into three parts. What are those three parts? First one is Java SE. Java SE. So here SE stands for Standard Edition. SE stands for Standard Edition. Standard Edition. Second one is Java EE. EE stands for Enterprise Edition. EE stands for Enterprise Edition. EE stands for Enterprise Edition. Okay, and Java ME. Java ME. Java ME stands for Micro Edition. Micro Edition. So Sun Microsystems divided Java into three parts. One is Java SE, Java EE, and Java ME. So Oracle company is also following this one, this terminology only. Oracle company is also following. So Sun Microsystems purchased by Oracle company. Now Sun Microsystems is not there. This company purchased by Oracle company. Now Java is the product of Oracle company. So Oracle company is also following this terminology only. Java SC, Java EE, Java ME. So SC stands for what? Standard Edition. EE stands for Enterprise Edition. ME stands for Micro Edition. Okay. So if we want to develop the standalone applications, we use Java SE. If we want to develop the standalone applications, we use Java SE. So Java SE is used to develop the standalone applications. If we want to develop the standalone applications, we use Java SE. Okay. If we want to develop the web applications or enterprise applications, we use Java EE. So Java EE is used to develop the web applications. Java EE. Okay. And for mobile applications, we use Java ME. So Java ME means ME stands for micro edition. So if you want to develop the applications to run in small devices like routers, set-top boxes, remote controls, this Java application we can run on many machines, on many devices. So for that you can use Java ME, but this is not that much famous as Java EE, Java SE. Okay, so to develop mobile applications we use Java ME. So this is the terminology. So in our course we are learning core Java. So in the core Java means you have to install which edition? Standard edition. So we learn how to develop the desktop applications. So desktop applications we will learn. Okay, so like that in the advanced Java, you will learn how can we develop the web applications, enterprise applications or distributed applications. That's Java E. Okay, Java ME is not that much famous. Okay, we will not use this. It is not that much famous. Nowadays, no, we are not using this Java ME to develop the uh, mobile applications. Okay, so these are the three parts of Java. So Java has three parts. What are those? Java SE, Java EE, and Java ME. And initially they have given name as J2SE. J2SE means Java Standard Edition, Java 2 Standard Edition, J2EE. This terminology was famous when Java was introduced. J2EE, J2ME. This terminology was famous. So later they renamed as Java SE, Java EE, Java ME. This is latest terminology. Initially we were calling Standard Edition as J2SE. Okay, Enterprise Edition as J2EE or J2EE. Okay, J2ME. So initially we were using this terminology, but nowadays we are not using this terminology. Okay, so Java SE, Java EE, Java ME, this is the latest terminology. So why they have given this two here means, so when Java was introduced, so many features were not there. When Java was introduced, so many features were not there in the first version of Java. But in the second version, okay, in the second version, they added so many features to the Java. So that's why, okay, for remembrance purpose, they have added this two in the title. So in the Java 2 version, they added so many features. So that's why they used this two number here. When Java was introduced, so many features were not there. Most of the features they added in the 2 version, later they added in the 5 version. Okay, so most of the features added in the 2 version, so that's why they used the number 2, J2SE, J2EE, J2ME. But nowadays we are not using this terminology, we are using the terminology Java SE, Java EE, Java ME. So for our course, we have to install which software? Java SE. Okay, whenever you are learning advanced Java, okay, like JSP, servlets, okay, for that you use Java EE. You have to install Java EE like that. So these are the parts of Java. Okay, so this is introduction part on Java. So in today's session, what we discussed, what is Java, what is the purpose of Java, what are the parts of Java, I explained. In the next session, I will explain what are the features of Java. So what are the major features are there? So why Java became famous? Before Java, C++ were so much famous. So when Java introduced, all those programming languages became down. Java became famous. Java introduced in the 1995, 1996. From last 20 to 25 years, Java is ruling the software industry. So why that became this much famous? Those features I will explain in next session. Just today what we discussed, I'm giving overview now. So this Java means there is a language, there is a programming language. It is the general purpose programming language, means we can develop many kinds of applications like standalone applications, web applications, mobile applications. It is a high level programming language because it is suitable to develop the application software. It is object oriented programming language because it supports two object oriented programming concepts like encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. This was introduced, officially announced in 1995, but first version released in 1996. James Gosling is the father of Java. So initially it was the product of Sun Microsystems company. Now it is the product of Oracle company because Sun Microsystems company purchased by Oracle company in the 2010. So using Java, we can develop standalone applications, web applications, and mobile applications. Okay, and this Java has three parts. Those are Java SE, Java EE, and Java ME. So whenever we are downloading the software, this terminology we see in the Oracle website. So we have to install Java SE. In the Java SE, again versions are there. So these are the parts of Java. So Java SE is used to develop desktop applications, Java EE for enterprise applications, Java ME to develop the mobile applications. Okay, so this is the introduction part on core Java. Okay, now listen. So our course title, now I'm explaining about our course. Listen. So our course title is core Java. Okay, so for this course, I take 60 to 70 sessions. 60 to 70 sessions are required for core Java. Okay, so after completion of your registration process, you will get video classes. Okay, you already know it. Okay, you will, our every class will be recorded. You will get video classes. Sometimes you may miss some topics. Sometimes due to the network problem, you may log in uh, so late. You may log in late. Okay, due to some network problem, or sometimes you may not attend the session. So at that time, these video classes are helpful to you. And on every weekend, I will send notes to you, PDF notes. On every weekend, I will send PDF notes to you. Okay, so that week topics I will send in one file. Okay, I will send PDF notes to you. I will give excellent notes to you, and I cover some interview questions also in that notes. And next, uh, in I share classroom programs with you. In the classroom, I explain some programs, executable programs I share with you. Classroom programs I share with you. I store in Google Drive. That Google Drive link I share with you. And classroom notes also I will share with you. So whatever the important points are there, I'm writing here. So this file I share with you. So with that, you can understand very easily. So which topic is going on? Okay, which topic we discuss in the classroom, so that you can identify easily if you refer these notes. So I will send these classroom notes, classroom programs, and also on every weekend I will send PDF notes to you, and video classes will be available to you. Okay, so for our course, 60 to 70 sessions are required, and some students are asking that any prerequisites are required to learn Java. No prerequisites are required. If you know C++, okay, it's very good. If you don't know C++, no problem at all. This is the fundamental course only. You can learn easily. This is a fundamental course only. I will explain each and every topic clearly. So what is the purpose of Java 2? What is variable 2? Okay, everything. So how can we design the forms in the Sphinx? Okay, collection framework, Sphinx, everything, every advanced features. Okay, everything I covered in our course. Okay, now I'm stopping the session. So regarding today's session, if you have any doubts, you can ask. Yes, any doubts? Okay, so whenever I'm discussing those topics, I will send notes to you. Okay, I will send notes on OOPS concepts. Okay, so already notes is there. Sorry, these are assignment programs. So I will send notes to you like this. Say today what we discussed, like standalone applications, web applications, mobile applications, parts of Java. Okay, so like this, everything I provide excellent notes to you, no problem at all. Oops concepts also I will share with you. So what is inheritance, what is abstraction, what is encapsulation, everything I will explain. Okay. Yes. Okay, Kiran. Okay, any doubts? Shall I stop the session regarding codes, regarding today's session? If you have any doubts, we can ask. Okay, so our class timings are 7 to 8. Okay, so 7 to 8 are our class timings. Okay, so please log in at 7 o'clock. I start the session at 7:05. I start the session at 7:05. At 7:05, I start the session. Okay, shall I stop the session? Yes. Okay, I'm stopping the session. Okay, thanks to all. Meet you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Okay, Kiran, bye. Okay, bye, Srinidhi. Okay, thanks to all. Meet you tomorrow.